Now start the second topic, primary and secondary structure of plant body and tissue system. In this topic we will study what is the primary structure of root, stem, leaves or any plant parts, and then how to secondary growth takes place in that parts of the plant body. In that topic we will study first primary structure of monocot and dicot root, stem and leaves. Then second one, the normal secondary growth in dicot root and stem. Then third subtopic is anomalous secondary growth in Bignonia and Dracena. And last one, we'll study now the periderm and lenticles. In this first unit, the primary structure of monocot root, stem and leaf may be deleted and only studied the normal secondary growth in dicot, root and stem. Before the study of this normal secondary growth, we must be known the primary structure of a dicot root, stem and leaves. The primary structure of dicot root may be studied when we will take the transverse section of a sunflower root. Then clearly observe the detailed internal structure of this root. But what is meant by root? Root is a very important part in a vascular plant. It develops from the radicle in the embryo after germination of the seeds. The root tip is always protected by the root cap. Therefore, the apical meristeme in the root remain subterminal. During the seed germination, the radicle elongates and comes out. This radicle in dicotyledon plants enters into the soil and grows to form the root of the plant. Such root in dicotyledon is called as a primary root. Then these primary roots further develop into taproot system. Such roots develop from radicle in embryo, usually persistent throughout the life of the plant. This taproot during the further development produces lateral branches. The roots is primary concern with fixing of the plant to the soil and absorption of water and mineral nutrients from the soil. In this way, the important part of the plant is first root, then stem, apical meristeme in the root tip produces the tissue called as a primary tissue. The body of root made up of this tissue is termed as a primary root. We also know that root and stem form the continuous axis through the vascular tissue. The internal structure of the root is comparatively simple than that of stem. It may be due to lack of node and internode, in absence of buds, leaves, etc. Before this is the actually introductional part of the root. Root is a very important part in the plant which fixes the plant to the soil and absorb the mineral nutrients as well as water from the soil and gives the support. These roots may be developed from the radicle. But we will study the primary internal structure of the root. In that primary structure, we will observe when we will take the transverse section of this root. This transverse section of this root maybe shows the three distinct main regions. Or first one is epidermis, the second one is cortex, and third one is a vascular stele. The first one, epidermis, it is also known as epiblema or piliferous layer. It is the outermost layer consisting of a single row of cells. The cells are tubular form. Their outer wall produces elongated outgrowth called as a root hairs. These root hairs help in the absorption of water and mineral of the soil. This is first one is this is the epidermis. This epidermis is a single layered cells. They may be developed not a multi-layered, only single, and outer wall of these cells may be developed the root hairs. Then below this epidermis, broad region is developed is called as the cortex. The cortex zone may be formed from major portion of the root or a large enlarged cortical region. It is composed or contained simple thin-walled isodiametric parenchymatous cells with intercellular space. These cells are living and possesses abundant leucoplast. These cells are concerned with the storage of food material in early stage of translocation and translocation of the water and solute from the epidermis to the vascular elements. The innermost layer of cortex in a root is called as the endodermis. The endodermal layer is uniserate and consists barrel-shaped compactly arranged cells. The wall of the endodermis possesses radial thickenings of lignin substance and forming the strips called as a Casparian strip on their radial wall. The strip is impervious to water, or they may be translocate the water from these Casparian strips. So there is a osmosis between the inner vascular elements and outer cortical region. It's very important. After this cortical region, we study the vascular region. This vascular region is also called as a stellar region. The stellar region maybe consist outermost region. This outermost layer of a stellar region is called as a pericycle. The pericycle of are thin walled and parenchymatous with abundant protoplasm, and vascular bundles are radially arranged, or they may be in a vascular cylinder. They are much smaller in structure. The xylem and phloem elements occur in the separate strand in that vascular bundle. That is, they may be developed on the alternate on the radius. The portion between the strand is filled with the small parenchymatous cells called as conjunctive tissues. The number of xylem patches is equals to the phloem patches. Since the four radial vascular bundle may be or radial type of arrangement may be observed in that vascular bundle. Hence this vascular bundle is called as a tetrach type of vascular bundle. In this xylem, which is that which is a protoxylem, lies towards the periphery and metaxylem towards the center. Hence the xylem is of exarch type. The central portion of this usually occupied by large metaxylem vessels which is placed close to each other, that the almost from the solid patches at the center. Hence the stele considered as a protostele. The phloem patches composed thin-walled, compactly arranged small patches. The sclerenchyma sometimes occurs above the patches of phloem in or in pericycle region, or they may be protective in function. The parenchymatous occupying the small area at the center, sometimes pith oblateral due to the development of this metaxylem. In this way, the internal structure of this root is clearly visible under the light microscope. When we will take the transverse section of the sunflower root, the stain with the safranin and or light green, if only the stain by the safranin and observe under the light microscope, we will observe some dead tissue, vascular tissue as well as the living tissue. In the primary stage, in primary growth, except the some xylem and phloem tissue, all living tissues are present in epidermis as well as in cortex as well as endodermis or in a pith. But in the stellar region, the vascular cylinders may be formed. This vascular cylinder or vascular tissue may be developed in a separate patches. Hence, due to development of xylem and phloem separate patches is called as a radial type of vascular bundle. But how many groups of the phloem and how many groups of the xylem? That is the 4 phloem group along with 4 xylem patches. Hence it is called as a tetrach type of vascular bundle. And these vascular bundle, in between this vascular bundle, some parenchymatous tissue is developed, is called as the conjunctive tissue. In this way, the primary structure may be observed in the root of the dicot plant. But after day by day, when the root is old, ultimately the secondary tissue may be added in that tissue, and due to addition of this secondary tissue, the girth or diameter of the root may be increased. But how to takes place the secondary tissue? Which tissues are developed during the secondary growth? We will study the detail. The first one, that is the normal secondary growth in dicot root. पहिल्यांदा आपण काय स्टडी करायचं आहे तर नॉर्मल सेकंडरी ग्रोथ कशी डेव्हलप होते डायकॉट रूटमध्ये. The normal secondary growth in dicot root follows 2 steps. The first one is the formation of secondary vascular tissue, and second one is the formation of secondary non-vascular tissue. 2 स्टेप्स त्याच्यामध्ये आहेत. पहिली जी स्टेप्स आहे ते व्हॅस्क्युलर टिश्यू, सेकंडरी व्हॅस्क्युलर टिश्यू कसे डेव्हलप होतात आणि सेकंडरी नॉन व्हॅस्क्युलर टिश्यू कसे डेव्हलप होतात. या 2 स्टेपमध्ये आपण काय बघायचं आहे, द नॉर्मल सेकंडरी ग्रोथ बघायचं आहे. फॉर्मेशन ऑफ सेकंडरी, फर्स्ट वी विल स्टडी द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ सेकंडरी व्हॅस्क्युलर टिश्यू इन द व्हॅस्क्युलर बंडल्स इन डायकॉट root are radial. That means xylem and phloem patches are separately on the alternate radii and the portion between them filled with the conjunctive tissue. The undifferentiated parenchymatous cells of the conjunctive tissue laying just above the upper edges of xylem patches and just below the low margin of the phloem patches become meristematic and develop into strips of cambium. Thus, the number of cambium strips coincided with the number of xylem and phloem patches. These strips of cambium grows laterally and united with the other and forming the continuous wavy ring or wavy band of cambium. In this way, the ring of cambium produces secondary xylem elements on inner side and secondary phloem elements on outer side. The wavy ring is more active in the region between the patches of xylem. Therefore, this region shows the vigorous secondary growth than the outer region. As a result of this type of unequal growth of different places, the wavy ring of cambium becomes circular. Now whole of the cambium ring becomes normal. It produces secondary xylem in a normal way on its inner side and secondary phloem towards the outer side. and growth remain equal in all the parts of the ring. In this way, the amount of secondary xylem is always more than the secondary phloem, due to which xylem are pushed towards the center and then fused to form the compound mass of primary xylem with exarch protoxylem points. And ultimately, due to the secondary xylem, the forming major portion is old dicot root. The xylem elements possesses larger and more vessels with the thinner walls. The xylem parenchyma is abundant, but xylem fibers are very scanty. As the more secondary xylem is added, the cambium and phloem are gradually pushed further outside. Since these buried in the soil, they are generally they may be increase in their size. In this way, the secondary growth may be occurs. We will observe in that first figure the four the pith in the stellar region. We will observe here, that is the phloem patches. Then in between the phloem patches, the xylem patches is developed and centrally develop the pith. In between the xylem patches and phloem patches, the conjunctive tissues are developed. The next procedure, when the second at the time of the development of secondary tissue, inner side of the phloem and outer side of the xylem develop some meristematic tissue is called as cambium or cambium strips. These cambium may be called as interfascicular cambium. This cambium elongates and forming connected to each other and forming the continuous wavy ring of cambium. This wavy ring of cambium, these cambium cells are meristematic in nature. They may be developed the secondary xylem on secondary xylem on inner side and secondary phloem on outer side, and due to addition of the secondary xylem and secondary phloem, the girth of the plant may be increased. In this way, the secondary growth may be occurs in the dicot root. Okay, next time we will study the secondary growth in a dicot stem. Thank you.